Just a disclaimer, romance stories don't interest me in the slightest, so this episode was kind of at a disadvantage to me from the get-go. That being said, the episode didn't annoy me or piss me off, so that's a good sign. Let's see how it holds up as an overall product. The episode starts with a bunch of ponies gathering in the town square preparing for the festival of the town's founding.
I'm glad the committee didn't automatically pick me, so every pony gets a chance to see how great being me actually is.
Well, that's one way to get your exposition out. Josh Haber giving a new meaning to the word airhead. Anyway, Rarity gets picked to lead the festival, and her plan is pretty predictable. I guess that's a big problem with Josh Haber as a whole so far. His stories seem to go by the book. This episode and Castlevania to an extent feel very textbook, providing very few new things. I wouldn't mind if he threw in a little more fun like he did in Castlevania, but here he seems satisfied with just hitting all the bullet points and doing nothing else. Rarity claims that she wants to impress a pony named Trenderhoof, and Rarity has a bit of a crush on him. Bullet point 1. One character has a crush on another one. Bullet point 2. Character nervously waits for their arrival. Bullet point 3. Character brought into awkwardness at first sight. Honestly, this episode's like a roller coaster that's nothing more than a track going in a circle. Sure, it's functional, but why the hell would you want to ride it? At least there's no bumbling. They make their way to Sweet Apple Acres, and bullet point number 4. The almost kiss. Bullet point number 5. The guy sees someone else and is attracted to her, while completely ignoring the one who does have his affections. This is usually enough to carry a subplot, but if you're only telling the basic story here, it's kinda bare bones.
Why are you staring at her like that?
Because that's what the original Writing Textbook 101 says to do. What the textbook doesn't say is that you need to put an original flavor into your story to make it yours, and not be an overdone bore. Strike goes to find Rarity crying, and yes, there's a good joke here. See, Josh, you can be funny! Rarity wonders what Applejack has that she doesn't, and as Digi pointed out, Trenderhoof is a bit of a racist, in a completely patronizing kind of way. I'm not sure if this was intentional because he's never shown to be in the right doing this, but it's awkward as hell to watch. Rarity comes out dressed in whatever the hell that is in order to attract Trenderhoof. Now here's a problem I expected to have with the episode from the concept alone. Rarity seeks love to the exclusion of pretty much everything else. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, but it still seems a bit shallow of Rarity to neglect her responsibilities over something like this. Besides, she's been to this song and dance before. Trenderhoof tries to tell a limerick, but kinda drops the ball in the last line in some weird attempt at a joke. Rarity tries to plow Applejack's field and fails. Trenderhoof gets more attracted to Applejack. Rarity fails to buck some apples. Applejack succeeds. Second verse, same as the first. Then we get another misunderstanding where Trenderhoof asks if Applejack will be his date. Yep, the example joke on page 42. Someone studied very well, but must have missed out on the lesson that there's more to art than technique. We get the textbook talk between the two bottom points of the love triangle, where the textbook emotions stop the textbook characters from taking this plot somewhere new. Then we find out that Rarity has a new idea to impress Trenderhoof, dressing like a stereotype of a stereotype. Now, some people would probably find this funny. It's more kind of awkward to me than anything else. And yeah, it's trying to be awkward. And once again, this kind of thing is just another by-the-book plot point.
You might think simple means less is more. Well, that just ain't so.
Hey, you do get it. I'm not against simple stories that don't have incredibly intricate plot lines. Not at all. But you do have to throw in some good humor, defy at least some expectations. You know, take the story somewhere new. Applejack comes out dressed like Rarity.
Is this some kind of joke?
I hope so, because I've been pretty bored throughout the whole episode. And the two of them try to out-ham each other until Rarity accidentally gets mud in Applejack's dress. And then we learn that Trenderhoof wants to stay on the farm. You know what? They should seriously let him. I'm pretty sure that a little farm work would do wonders for his attitude, and he'd actually have respect for farm life and not just a patronizing interest. Then we learn the textbook lesson that you shouldn't change yourself to impress someone else, and they have their festival. There are good writers, there are bad writers, and then there are safe writers. If you don't need to take something to new heights, and just don't want the writer to screw things up, you call on those safe writers. Just don't expect any accolades given to them. Josh Haber is a safe writer. This episode, I'm pretty ambivalent towards. In fact, I haven't been this ambivalent to an episode since Winter Wrap-Up. There was nothing really to object in the story to be sure, but writing isn't like any other job in the world. You can't just follow the book and expect to be great, or hell, even good. The best you'll be is average. The book will tell you technique, but you need style. Sure, style might result in failure, but it might not. No matter what though, it sure as hell won't be forgotten.